All right, the next part of this is the actual tacking up. So I got all my saddle pads out and my girth and the saddle and the bridle all out, ready to go. I'm going to start with the square saddle pad. You can tell which side is the front because the front has a girth strap. And then this also is another girth strap. There's also usually a little swoop upwards towards the front, giving room for the withers. So I'm going to gently place it on the horse's back, kind of right about here to start. And then we slide it back so it helps the hairs orient in the correct direction. We want the front of the square pad to be about halfway through his shoulder. Then we're going to put the half pad on top of that. Freddie uses a thin line half pad. Usually with half pads, the wider part goes towards the front, so it can offer a little bit more shoulder and withers protection. And lay that on top. Then we're going to do the saddle. Now, it's very important with the saddle that you lift it up high enough to clear the horse's back. You're not sliding the saddle up on them, moving the pads around, scraping against their side. And it's important that you set it down gently. I don't know if you can see, Freddie's kind of questioning my skills here. So he turned his head and was looking at me, and I think that is a sign that he's not sure if this is going to be comfortable or not. He had back surgery, so he has dealt with back soreness in the past. So I'm going to make sure that I'm extra careful as I set it down on top of his back. So I don't just throw it on the horse's back. And then we're going to take the saddle pads in the front and pull it up off of his withers. Not only does that provide a little bit of pressure relief on his withers, there's also going to create a little airflow down the center of his back, which is very helpful for a sweaty, hairy horse. Next is the girth. All of my girths have elastic on both sides. Determining front versus back, this little D ring here should be towards the front of the horse. So I know the girth goes like this under his belly. I'm going to go through the girth strap on the saddle pad and buckle it on the last hole. It's important also to go through the first slat on this because it's got a roller buckle. This roller buckle will help you tighten it without pinching the horse or going up too fast. So again, you stick that strap through and buckle on the loosest hole. I'm going to go to the other side. Carefully bend over and reach down to grab the girth from underneath. And repeat the process on this side. Freddie has gained a little bit of weight, so this girth might be tight to start. So I make sure I go nice and slow. I don't know if you saw Freddie question me just then. He turned around and looked and had a concern that maybe I was going to go too tight. But I went nice and slow. So let's see. He's already thinking that I'm going to go too tight. So I'm just going to be patient here. Let him have a minute to adjust. Good boy. There, good boy. Good boy. And then lots of pets. Good boy. Not all of the horses need that much reassurance. Some of them are a little bit nippy, but if you go really slow and start with the bottom hole, just go up little by little, it's usually not a big deal for them. All right, so the last piece is the bridle. Before you do your bridle, you want to make sure you get your helmet on so that you can have your entire focus to him after you get him off of the cross ties, because he's not going to be tied up anymore in a minute. I'm going to unbuckle the throat latch and the noseband of the bridle. That's how we keep them figure-eighted, wrapped up so they don't get tangled. I want to make sure that I prepare everything carefully before I actually go to put the bit in his mouth. So after I get the throat latch and the noseband undone, I'm going to take the reins off of the back of the bridle and free them. Then I'm going to put the reins over his head onto his neck. He's got some flies. And then unclip the cross ties. Now it's important that I am paying close attention to him here because he is now untied. If he started to walk away, I could grab the halter, or I could grab the reins and bring him back to where he was. I'm going to take the halter off his face and hang it on my shoulder. Then I bring the bridle, take the noseband up and the throat latch up so that the bit is completely clear. Holding the bridle in the left hand, I'm going to use my fingers on his nose to bring him closer to me. My right hand goes up over his head in between his ears. I'm going to change hands at this point. My left hand goes down below his mouth, guiding the bit in between his top and his bottom teeth. My right hand is pulling towards his ears. If the horse doesn't open their mouth, you can put your thumb in the corner of their mouth and tickle their tongue. They'll open and allow the bit to come in. Then we point the ear forward to get the crown piece on. Then the other ear forward. Make sure you get those ears all the way through the bridle. Organize the forelock. Get the cavesson out of his eyes. Put the noseband underneath the cheek pieces. And buckle the noseband snug. Make sure you go through the keepers so that the flap of leather is not bothering the horse while you ride. And then we take the throat latch from the other side. I'm going to buckle it so that I can fit my fist underneath, but not much bigger than that. Then we're going to put it through the keepers as well. Hang my halter up out of the way. And we're ready to go.